possible for an X-ray on the film actually gives me a better quality image from working with different things.
So we are now totally in the dark, in your dark room.
Makes sense.
The reason it's a dark is it's a dark room. Instead of the release where the top of all. Coming back out of the dark room. And this is the X-ray. And it's the solid structure. And the walls here are 2 feet thick. Solid concrete. It's like a bunker. But the further I go in here, the more likely the Wi-Fi is to come off. So I'll do this bit quick. I've got the film on the floor. I've got X-ray radio. I've got the radio on the film. At the X-ray machine. I'll come out so you can see. Can you hear me?
Yes!
Right, so there's the radio, which is sitting on top of X-ray film, which is in a bag, got the light in the X-ray film. And the thing above it, in the air, is the X-ray machine, which is powered by high voltage electricity. I now shut this heavy door, which is made of lead and steel. And here, all the wacky buttons. This will make a noise, everyone. This is normal. Ready for a noise? Ready for the noise? Here we go. So that warning is that the X-rays were about to start. They've now started. And you can see here, I'm X-raying for 2 minutes, 15 seconds, and it counts down. So the difference really with my equipment and what you get in the hospital is the hospital X-ray is really, really quick. It's like a 2.2 per second. It shows whether the patient has a broken leg or not, has cancer or not, whatever they're looking for. But I'm more interested in pretty pictures and diagnosis. Now I get to a lot longer, which gives me much more detail. Very well. So this way.
That's all I gotta do?
And then after the X-ray finished, I then process the film on this machine here, which is in my dark room. This is a film processor that Collins developed. Water and fixer make permanent. That process takes about 6 minutes, and now the coaching. And then they have to start to think up how these little X-rays get put together to make one of these big X-rays like this. So we've got 56 seconds to count down. There's lots of waiting with my job. Lots of standing around. Here's my very efficient assistant. Today she's wearing her pilot's outfit and her nipple clamps. Can you do the section? Hi. She's my friend. She's going to show you.
Oh my God.
Here's a little guided tour of my studio while we're waiting. These are the projects I'm working on. These are my ideas and working on. The next one we're doing is doing Gecko from doing the script, and then we're going to do the straight one. Okay, that's done. So we've got now, let's do it in a second. The light is written. Ready to go in. No green ahead. Go! This is everything. Going to go back inside. Safe, you have to go back inside. I'm going to get that film. Okay, back in the dark.
I know.
just about see. So, here I am in the neutral. Let's run into the radio. And the film, here's the film. We find a piece of plastic. We have to develop the image. I'll put the film in this machine. And that will develop it. That takes 6 minutes. Okay, so we're waiting for the X-ray. Would anybody like to ask me a question while we're waiting?
Guys, any questions?
I have a question.
Great.
I have a question. So, I'm intrigued by the choice of and difference in the ones that are holographic versus the ones that are still.
Yeah, so the ones that are holographic really are a sequence of X-rays. So I've got up here Michael Jackson. You can see that Michael Jackson is normally walking, yeah? And what it is there's a sequence of actually 7 X-rays that are put behind a sliced, prismatically ribbed lens, which is like the sort of novelty gifts you get at Disneyland. So you can see the monkey climbing up the tree or the ship bobbing about in the stick. So having a sequence of images allows it to animate. It can move. And up here we've got, this is a flip, what's called a flip lenticular, where there's only 2. And we have Batman on one, Superman on the other. So there is a ribbed lens, and there's 48 ribs per inch. And behind each rib, image A is sequenced, then image B, then image A, then image B, then image A, then image B. And from one angle, you see picture A, and from another angle, you see picture B. Here I've got one with skeletons walking. So they're like walking at each other. And they also change colour from black to white. That's just a test on something I'm working on. Yeah, so it's more work for me because it's more than just one X-ray, it's a series of X-rays. But I think it's fun really because when I use the skeleton and it animates, it's like you're bringing the dead back to life.
How do you do the cars and the airplanes and the helicopters?
So anything bigger than a motorcycle, I do on a digital X-ray machine in Nuremberg in Germany, where they can X-ray 3 meters, which in your money is about 10 feet, in one section. That's the largest X-ray machine in the world by some distance. So here I have a picture of it, which I'll put on the table here. My very first car I X-rayed, everything you see on the floor here, I X-rayed in exactly the same process I do in this radio, and we stitched it all together to get to that.
Wow.
The car was totally destroyed. It's about 500 separate X-rays. So if I wanted to do a car and not destroy it, like I do with these fancy Ferraris and stuff I do, here is a picture of the Ferrari in front of the digital X-ray machine. And the really clever thing is this line here. That's called a linear array. That's a 10 feet long CCD chip. So like in a digital camera or in your phone, you have a tiny little chip that reads the image. This one is 10 feet long, and that's the longest one in the world by some distance. That allows me, it's still not quite as big as the car, as you can see. It's slightly narrower in the car. So when I do that Ferrari, I do it in 3 sections. I do the front, the middle and the back, and I join them where the car joins on the door seats. But obviously the car's X-rayed empty, so here we have a Land Rover. And you can see the Land Rover it's got a kid in it on his phone, his dad driving, there's a dog in the back, they're going to the beach, there's a beach ball and all that sort of stuff. So all those little things inside it, like the skeleton and the ball and the dog, they're X-rayed here in my studio in England. Car is X-rayed empty, I say X-rayed empty in Germany. It's a very sort of, it's almost like a bit like the way I describe it, I think really best is to say, make it like a jigsaw puzzle. And you've got the picture on the box, and you open it and you put all the pieces on the floor, and then you have to find them. Yeah, that's very sort of relevant and simple, my process. Like this picture you're looking at now, this like a 4 months work for 3 people. There's maybe, I don't know, 300 X-rays, even though the car's only 3 X-rays, still good 250 other X-rays in there. And then 2 to 3 months in digital production, post-production. The bigger the scene, the more work, really. Something like saxophone, that's much more straightforward than doing what I call a scene, like a family, and it's much more complicated. Not quite ready yet, guys, not quite ready yet. Any other questions?
I think we have a couple, Nick.
Yeah, I have one. Why do you choose to do one in the opposite term, and is there a term for that? An opposite color? With the white and the gray versus the black
background.
With the grey background?
Yeah, yeah.
Just why you flip it at all?
I can't hear you.
Why did you choose to do the opposite color for some of them, and is there a term for that?
It's just really aesthetics. I think it looks nicer, really. It's just that simple. The extras, they're all black and white with a black background, which is how I tend to display most of my work. But for those old enough in the room, there used to be a TV series called ER, and in the beginning of ER, a very young George Clooney, in fact, got an X-ray film and put it on the light box. And when you put the film on the light box, that film had like a blue colour to it. So when you look around, like look behind you in the bar with the man at the bar, that has like a blue tint. And I think that's what most people expect when they see X-rays. Is like a blue tint. Here are all the things I'm working on.
Alright, wait, I'm not in
When I do my slit and dunk, like I X-ray the shirt separately to the skeleton, and then the ball separately. All these little things in here, like I put party balloons, the balloons, I put those in the clothes that we can shape. Because obviously when the clothes are X-ray separately. So, yeah, so like, it's a lot of light, X-ray works on the density or the weight of the object. This is the greatest art stunt I think ever in my life. And I've recreated it in X-ray. This is the Veasey shredding balloon girl, where someone paid $960,000 for this artwork, and as the auction, grab gavel, hit that. Hit the stand, the picture sort of 3/4 is actually totally but in my mind, it's such a great stunt. I wanted to recreate it in X-ray. So I've done it. Or Master Veasey.
Nick, we have there's an additional question. Can we ask one?
Yeah.
Alright, so how did you get involved in this, and what was your original medium, or was it always this?
No, photography. I love photography. It's my passion, really. Yeah, sort of analog photography with cameras, not digital photography. But my earlier work was very, very wacky, very weird. Sort of, I was doing record covers and magazine articles. And yeah, not surprisingly, I didn't really do that well because my work was so very abstract. It was like Jackson Pollock meets photography. And here's the film coming out of the airplane machine.
So how did you get involved in the photography part of it? Like, how did that happen?
How do I get what?
How did you get involved in the whole X-ray part of it? Like I know the photography part of it, but how did you get involved in doing the X-rays?
Yeah, I got involved in X-rays really it's just luck really. I got asked to X-ray a soda can for a TV show, and yeah, so sometimes in life things find you.
You got a question?
Playground here, it was like a life-changing moment. I knew the first hour of the first day that I found what I wanted to do. It was strange. It was just there's lots of barriers to working with X-ray. You know, it's dangerous. The equipment's expensive. You have to have a room, a radiation-proof room. So here with the X-ray, we've got an image. I'll show it to you on the light box. This is how long it takes. Takes about 15 minutes. Okay. Things are ready. And you can see it. Like you can see that the thickest thing, the heaviest thing in the radio are the magnets in the speakers. These white circles. You can see all the electronics, the woodens around, which looks really nice in the corners. You get this sort of ghosty effect. Here. Then I come out of it. There you go.
Wow, very cool.
There's more questions.
We have another question for you,
Obviously,
Nick.
you can see that the image on the X is the same space as the object. Right? So when it gets complicated, is when the object is bigger than the film. So if I was to X-ray my lovely assistant here, so here's an X-ray film.
Hour and a half north of London.
And because it's the same size process, we need one to cover her head, another one for her arms, another one for her arms, legs. So just to cover the human body is about 9 inches. So it's lots of little bits all stuck together. Is that confused you all?
Awesome. Nick, we have another question for you.
Okay.
And in fact, this is one of your collectors, Anthony.
Hello mate, nice to meet you. Thank you for coming and thank you for your support.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Two quick questions. First of all, did you know all these guys? Did you know all these guys? You guys in the cars?
Do I know?
Okay. No, my real question.
Do I know all these guys?
My real question is, that's American humor. My real question is, what's the background made of? What is the background? What is it? Fabric is the back. Is it wooded? The background of the art behind.
It's metal.
It's metal. Oh, it is metal.
Aluminium.
Say that again.
Aluminum.
Aluminum. This is wood. Really? Okay.
Yeah, that gives you a nice, smooth,
They're all aluminum.
it makes the black super deep black. That's what I try to achieve with my prints. I'm trying to make them look like light boxes. I'm trying to make them look like that. Yeah, where the light is coming from behind the image. So I'm trying to make the blacks really deep.
So they're all aluminum. All the backgrounds are aluminum.
And they're trying to make as much intensity from the reflected light.
Wow.
And aluminium is perfect because it's smooth.
That's great. Thank you.
I have another question. So when you don't see the skeleton of the people. What do you use for dressing them? Do you let close so to make it not X-ray transparent? Or?
No, obviously with the skeleton, I x-rayed the skeleton without clothes, and then I x-rayed the clothes separately. And I put party balloons inside the clothes to give them volume, to give them shape. Just like your jacket is bending where your elbows bend. I do that with balloons and stuff, but that's actually a very difficult part of the process, is to make the clothes fit the position of the skeleton.
You have a skeleton of a dog also?
Yes.
Okay. Where are you located in England?
In Kent, just south of London, about 1 hour south of London.
I lived in England for 20 years, so but in Leicester.
Oh, great! Bedford. That's going to be one big theme park. Universal Road theme park.
Sorry, University of London. You had an exhibition there?
Where?
In Bedford.
Bedford.
Bedford, okay.
No, right. No, I've never exhibited in Bedford. I didn't think I'd get that question.
So Nick, can I ask, so I didn't hear exactly, the pictures that we have here with the skeletons, and those are not real people, those are your skeleton assistants, or are those real
Well,
people that you're using?
I don't want to insult your intelligence, but a skeleton was once a real person.
Sorry, like a living person.
Yeah. I can't x-ray anything, even my dog. Every animal, living human thing has to be dead before I use the radiation.
Yeah, that was my question, because it is dangerous, right? So yeah, thank you. It makes me feel better. This is really wonderful, thank you.
Well, thanks for coming out. Is it a good show? You enjoyed it?
Guys, are you enjoying the show? Who wants to go?
Good. Thank you. I'm so sorry about that. Make me feel stupid, sorry.
Thank you so much for inviting us
Oh,
here.
yeah,
It's real.
If anybody wants to ask me another question personally, then ask them for the phone and she can call me back.
If anybody wants to talk to him directly, guys, I can put him on my phone, is what he suggested. You can hear him better.
Yeah, it's hard to hear you. But thank you.
Bye.